Hello, hello. I am back. It's been a while. The last time I posted on this channel was around 2016, but it was about like a Supreme chain. Now we're gonna take a look at the knives I've collected over the years. First knife video, or one of the knife videos at least, that I made on this channel was about the Tac Force Karambit. I remember at the time, the owner of the Tac Force channel on YouTube commented on that post and said something nice to me or something. You know, it's kind of cool to see just any sort of response from the community, let alone 4,000 views. So for that reason, I decided to keep this channel around, I guess. And let's get into the knife review. It's been around 11 years. I've collected a few knives, so here we go. This is the Walmart Ozark Trail, just general knife, I guess, outdoors camping knife. At the time, I remember paying maybe $4 and change for this. So it's got a really crappy liner lock, but you know, it did me good back in the day. It did what I needed it to do. I can't remember exactly why I needed a knife at 14, 15 years old, but I guess I did, and I used the shit out of it. I mean, it's pretty beat. This knife is a $3 knife I bought off of eBay. I don't remember if I paid shipping or not, but it's also a Walmart branded knife. I was actually kind of a Walmart branded knife enthusiast back in the day. I think I had at least two knives from Ozark Trails, but yeah, they've since been lost. So unfortunately, I cannot show you those today. I had one with like a tan handle and maybe like D10 scales or whatever the hell plastic, and I believe something else. But this is all that remains of those early days, unfortunately. Here we have the Kershaw something something and something. What was weird about this knife was the liner lock here was a little bit to the left of the blade. Kind of scared me. I didn't want it to close up and pinch my hand. So what I did was I took the knife apart, I shaved it down, but I shaved it down a hair too much. So now it's got a little bit of play. I'm really not a fan of that. So I typically just keep this aside. I put it in the shame box because I don't really have any need for a knife that has like play that's that big. So that's that. After I guess I destroyed that knife, I bought the Spyderco Tenacious. And this was sort of my holdover knife because, you know, I couldn't afford anything when I was, you know, before the age of 20, basically. So, yeah, I think I bought this when I was 20 years old, and it did me good. I mean, I landscaped with it, used it a lot, you know, opening pallets of pavers and all that shit. But there's the blade play, you know, you can't, that's just I don't know, it's designed in America, but either design's shit or China shit, because that, I don't know, it's not good. But anyways, this is actually the knife that I use the most, I would say, out of any of them, because, you know, it is one of the cheaper knives, and it's not covered in, like, paint like some of these other knives. So I typically use this to, like, cut chicken or something, you know, just any sort of dinner I might have. It's even not completely clean here because I just did a quick finger rub to get the shit off before the video started, because this is one of my active, like, one of the more active knives out of the bunch. Onto the next knife here. Another one I use landscaping a good bit. And another one sort of inspired by the Karambit theme, or rather the Counter-Strike theme. The reason I bought the Karambit back in the day was because of Counter-Strike. So this sort of has that Counter-Strike vibe. So I bought this. And yeah, this is not the type of knife you want to whip out in front of the homeowners when you're landscaping, because it's a little bit scary looking, I guess. Onto the next knife. You see, this is when the addition started. Once I visited Dick's Sporting Goods, saw this thing in a case, and then... So now we're on to the next Kershaw, the Kershaw Leak, of course. I really like the spring action of this knife. It feels really good. I love the weight of it. It looks a little bit menacing with the, I guess you'd call that a reverse Tano, or the drop point edge, but I think it's classy. It feels good in the hand. It's got a good weight to it. It's not too heavy at all. And yeah, I really like that blade. What's still kind of I'm not sure about is I bought this back in the day for around $35, but you know, this typically goes for 60, 70, 80 bucks. And, you know, one of the things was, you know, I would cut a bunch of limes with it, you know, making margaritas and such. So you see that the whole, whoops, let's try to get this 3 focus. I do not want to continue the video looking like crap. I don't know why it does that, man. Okay. But yeah, you can't really see like the Ken Onion design sort of faded off, which is annoying. You know, made in America thing, or I guess design in America. But yeah, I got it for 35 bucks, and I was like, I realized the other day, I was like, oh, there's like a little like hairline crack in here. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. See right above the thumb stud there? Like right here. There's a little hairline crack. So I wonder if this is like a B tier sort of like batch that they sold in bulk to these like resellers, and the resellers kind of didn't tell you that they were like B stock. But yeah, I got a $35 little leak. I can't complain about that. It's never done me wrong. Blade hasn't broken over the years. This is another one. You know, I probably got this right around when I was like drinking age, right? So it had the bottle opener. I was like, dude, I gotta carry around that knife. It's got a bottle opener. I'll be opening bottles left and right. But the reality of it is, it's just like a small knife. It's a little bit too light for me. It just kind of feels like cheap and gross. And I don't know, man. I don't know. When I'd flick it open, even the liner lock would be kind of stuck. Like it would be like hard, you know, it hurts your thumb to get it open. And it looks like an egg when it's closed. This is probably the knife that stopped me from buying knives for years, because it was just kind of a stupid purchase. I basically purchased a bottle opener with a knife on it, and it looks ugly. So yeah, that's that, unfortunately. I still keep it because I don't know, whatever. This knife, just a little Gerber. I took it from my dad because, you know, he's a nice guy, and I went on a sailing trip with him, and I see a knife in his sailing bag, and I'm like, oh shit, can I have that? Because, you know, I like knives, and he knows that I like knives, so he was like, fuck it, you can have it. Here we go. It's still in my collection. Never gonna lose that. This I saw in a Dollar General, or Dollar Tree. Yeah, Dollar Tree. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this. It was $1.25, and I saw it, and I was like, you know what? It's gonna be a while before I can buy my Spyderco Para 3, so let's just get a little hole over. And I couldn't say no to this thing. $1.25. It's just a little talk piece. All right, we're shifting on down. It's official, people. We got the QSP Penguin. I actually have two of these bad boys. What a beautiful knife, isn't it? And it's got that thicker blade at the top here, so it like just swings open, just so smooth. I love that. And the micarta handle, dude, so just classy. I love this. But yeah, I've got a gray one. I leave at my parents' house because I just love the hell out of this knife. When I realized that I could get such a nice knife for only 35 bucks, I had to get a second one. It was just, there was no other way about it. So that's the story of that. There was a 2-year gap between this knife and the Spyderco Para 3. Like I said, you know, back in the day, I really wanted a Spyderco, like a real American-made Spyderco. So the holdover for me was the Chinese-made Spyderco Tenacious, and it was just around 3 months back that I realized, hey, I'm an adult now. Let's buy that thing you wanted, kid. Like, let's get to it. So I went ahead, did myself a favor, and bought one of these bad boys. And at the time, I was almost like, oh, it's just another knife. Like, it was a little bit underwhelming, to say the least. I mean, I wasn't like pissed about it, but you know, you get the thing that you've wanted for all these years, and it's really not. It's never gonna feel as amazing as it should. I guess. I don't know. I'm usually hypercritical in my purchases, I guess I can say. So yeah, I bought this. I was like, oh, I guess it's just a knife. But we'll get back to that. I saw this on sale, or it was a deal that I had. It was 150 bucks, no tax, and I was like, I have to get that. I know that Wrangler Star has really pretty harsh opinions on the bug out, but it gives me all the more reason to try it because, you know, East Coast guys for the win. So bought this thing, and yeah, it's so light that it feels cheap almost, which is sort of leans into that philosophy of why he wouldn't like it, I guess. But you know, it's really impressive how truly light it is for how quality of a EDC blade this is. So I don't regret the purchase at all. 150 bucks, no tax. You can't complain, man. I mean, this is just the gold standard of bug out knives. It might be a little basic by today's standards, but goddamn, that is a knife. That is a knife. Once I bought this, there's probably a 3 or 4 month gap between this and the bug out. Once I bought this, I got crazy because my algorithms went fucked. It showed me the comparison video that whatever the hell that guy's name is made between that knife and this, the Walmart knockoff of the Benchmade bug out, and I had to get one. I had to get one, especially because I ordered another couple knives online and I needed a holdover knife. So because this was trendy, I bought it. Like I said, $10. It was like at $10.50 plus tax. Let's just call it 12. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cool knife. It made me realize actually at the time that I had this way too tight because I couldn't even flick it open like nicely. So the cheap knife made me realize I needed a little bit of adjusting on the $150 one, which is a little silly. But yeah, this is just sort of a goofy knife. I'm probably just gonna toss this, you know, in a toolbox or some crap in a drawer somewhere. But anyways, let's move on to the other holdover knife I bought before the other ones. The Kershaw Iridium, $60 knife. This might be one of my favorite knives. I mean, the feeling this thing has, oh my god, it's so smooth, and the way that the lock just sort of like clicks itself back into place here. Oh my god, it feels so good. I was flicking this thing all day, dude. All day. It just feels so good. Kershaw Iridium. Can't make this shit up. I mean, it's obviously heavier than the Benchmade bug out. It's got a longer blade. I wish the blade was a little bit like smaller in appearance. It looks a little, the blade looks a little goofy to me, honestly. Let's clean that off. But yeah, it's got such a good feel, dude. It's got such a good feel. I can't make that shit up. It's crazy. All right, this is the Civivi. The Civivi, whatever the hell. Everybody that's stumbled onto this video probably knows what this knife is, so there's no reason for me to really go too crazy. But my opinion on it is that the sound, you hear that? Let's try it again. It's got like a little ting. I don't know. You hear that? Sounds like Tinkerbell showing up. This doesn't feel like a man's knife to me. I don't know what it is. It looks a little weird. The blade looks kind of funny to me because it doesn't have a thumb stud or a hole. What's also weird about it is it's not, rather it's more thick than knives typically are. At least the handles that I have down here. Like I think I checked it even against, I can't remember if I checked it against the bug out, but it was, you know, if you feel it, it's like, oh, this is like I'm holding it's a thicker handle but with a smaller blade. I don't know how I feel about that. That combined with the look of the blade, looks like, it doesn't look manly, I guess. Not that that's everything that matters in a blade, but you know, I think, that being said, I think this is probably a perfectly good tool. Can't complain at all. It was like 65 bucks. But it just never really hit the same sort of, never really triggered the same response that I think I've seen online. So fortunately, with that purchase, alongside that purchase, I bought this bad boy, the CJRB Pyrite. And dude, I think this is one of the best feeling knives that I own. Like, the sound of it sounds good. The button isn't as sticky compared to the Civivi. I really enjoy this knife. I think it looks really good with the drop tanto. There's the version without that. Sorry, reverse tanto. There's a version without that, and it has a thumb stud. But I think this is badass, especially because of the, I don't know, the metal handle. I really like this knife. Like I said, I mean, you know, not really too crazy stories around these knives at the end here, but to get into this bad boy, this is a fake. Guys, I committed a sin. I went to AliExpress. I saw that they had a deal, and this was going to be $3 with $1.20 shipping. So like, or $1 something shipping. So it was like $5 and change to deliver this thing to my place on AliExpress. I had to. Guys, I had to. You can see by the text more obviously on this side. Come on with this shit. See that text? The Spyderco text. It's comical. It looks like crap. I had to loosen this. the whatever the hell it's called, to get it to actually even like remotely flick open or close. So it's working surprisingly well now. I think I've kind of worked it in. Wow, that's actually kind of like 2 for 2. There we go. But anyways, to get back to this Spyderco here, after using all these knives, after feeling how knives can feel, it made me really appreciate, especially after that fake, how nice the Para 3 really is. I mean, this is a nice knife. I barely had to loosen this thing. It feels perfect flicking it open as I massively fail to open it. So, look at that, dude. Dream knife right there, baby. And let's not forget about the fixed blade in the back. I had a Schrade SCHF9. I still do. I used it for years. I probably chopped down, not dozens of trees, but I've chopped a lot of wood with that thing. You can use it as a hatchet, but I made the decision that because I have a hatchet in my camping bag, I don't need to carry that heavy knife anymore. So I bought the SE4 with the SV35 VN steel. Yes. So this is like the sharper variant. People complain about the 1095 variant of the SE all the time online, or at least they used to. But now, as a, you know, bushcrafter sort of vibe, we can adopt this pretty piece. So yep, SV35 steel on this bad boy, 4-point-something inch knife, the blade length, and dude, the handles look so good. Come on, why does it do that? You gotta be kidding me with that shit. And worst of all, they don't make it easy to switch back. Anyways, that's pretty much that, guys. I mean, that's my knife collection. You know, that's your 11 years later knife collection video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We went all the way from Walmart to having a somewhat chronic addiction to watching YouTube videos and then buying not only really expensive knives that probably shouldn't be as expensive, to buying some of the cheapest Walmart and AliExpress knockoffs you can find, and finding some just absolute gems along the way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and who knows, I guess we'll see you guys next time.